Happy Tuesday, everybody. Thank you so much for being patient with me on Sunday night, as there were lots of problems at the airport. I don't know who else was traveling during the end of, for what a lot of people have for spring break, but I was in the air and just could not make it for the feed, but God bless Cecilia. She was able to reschedule for tonight, and we are going to jump into intermittent fasting here in just a minute. So we're past that 6-week mark, so I'm just so curious how everyone is doing. I have been reading some of the most beautiful testimonies, and I'm very happy to see that people are not just changing their bodies, but they are changing their whole outlook. And that was a big part of New Year, New You for me, was trying to help everybody get on the same page of being joyous and happy about these changes and not having it be a struggle. And I can tell you, for me, the first couple of weeks was a big struggle. I didn't realize how far I had gotten. So anyway, I'm super excited for the check-ins. I know we've extended that. And you guys know there's a huge prize at stake here. Actually, 3 separate winners. But the grand prize winner is going to get round trip tickets to Costa Rica, accommodations, $1,000 in cash, and all of the people that I work with. You're gonna get blasted, you're gonna get massaged, you're gonna get tonics, you're gonna get some of the delicious food that I've been catching and eating. I might even catch you a fish. So I'm just super stoked to see who wins that contest. And we have about 5.5 weeks left. For those of you who have been following me, I really apologize too for the past maybe week and a half, as I haven't been quite as consistent with the companion guide and posting, because I had 10 children staying with me, and it was a bit time consuming. So thank you guys. I see you saying things about my hair. I'm back in the States, and so I was able to get a little trim and some color. Love going red sometime. And also I was traveling, and literally 3 hours ago my back was freaking out. So I have never been so happy to get in my sauna and do a whole full body blast. So some of the brightness in the face may be from a recent blast. All right, so our guest for tonight for New Year, New You is somebody who, as soon as I met, was like, this woman is just extraordinary. And she may not know it or not, but I was like, I gotta be friends with this woman. I mean, she's been through so many of the same challenges and struggles as me. We just sort of instantly bonded, and she is extraordinary. Not only did she have an amazing career in television, but she's just a strong, beautiful, amazing woman who, like me, wants to take her life experiences and help others, particularly in the field of health and wellness. And she's written a lot more and done a lot more than intermittent fasting. Her most recent book was about intermittent fasting. So I asked her to join me to help with the intermittent fasting group, and also wanted to have her on to discuss girl stuff and intermittent fasting. So sorry guys who's watching this, may be a little chick power type episode. So I have you ready, Cecelia, for as soon as you want to join in. We can split screens. You're probably way more high-tech than me. I see people saying, has anyone tried fasting for 6 months? There's some good, for Martin Jones, there's some good information in the Ketogenic Bible. We had the writers of that on. It's on my page if you just scroll down. So I see Jack Crucial, Dr. Jack Crucial too. He has some great information on fasting as well. This is going to be more from, I guess, the patient perspective. And I can't wait to hear all of the various sources that Cecilia used to prepare for her book. Jerry Nasu says, I did 3 weeks and 4 days of fast. I know a lot of people do the master cleanse, which is 10 plus days. So I know for me, I am revamping my program. I have about 3, oh, interesting. Elena Cantu says, I never have. Will it be discussed tonight about muscle loss? Yes, we'll bring it up. We'll see if Cecilia knows, and if not, we'll get all of the answers for you. Just waiting for her to request to join. I think anyone over the age of 25 should not have to figure out Facebook Live. Ooh, Sheila Berry says she's at hour 44. Let me tell you, coming back to the States when I have been used to eating the cleanest food ever, basically things I've caught or grown, even eating healthy United States food has been a challenge. So I've fasted just because my stomach was killing me. So, all right, here we go. Cecilia.
Hey!
You know what? I knew I should have put on extra makeup and, that you'd be looking like that.
Nothing. I mean, I can't help it. We can help it wear like that. How are you? Love you. How are you doing?
I am doing so good. Thank you so much. I've been enjoying living in the Latino culture.
I know you like salsa and you're always Costa Rica. I love it. And so here. Thank you so much.
Well, we already have thousands of viewers, so we're really excited, and you'll be able to interact with them. I know you can't see the questions, but as the questions come up, I can answer you. And so that way we can interact with them.
Okay.
Everybody's saying that just sit on the side. Do you have headsets?
I have to get my my AirPods. Don't move.
Yeah, grab your AirPods because I don't have mine.
Keep talking.
We'll get it, you guys. Don't worry. Lena says, oh, reverb. It's just one of us has that headset. Don't worry, we'll fix it.
I hear you guys. Everybody's saying echoing, can't hear.
I hear
We'll
you.
get it. How about now? Sounds perfect, right?
Sounds good. Yeah. I mean.
Oh, girl, you're so good.
I have.
You know what's so funny is I went to the trouble of getting earbuds into the country of Costa Rica, and then I packed them to bring to Vegas with me, and I opened up the box and they weren't in there.
Oh, Lord.
So I don't know if I took them out or what.
Yeah.
I'm like cursed when it comes to technology.
It's hard. I mean, we have so many things to take care of, also to know how to do these machines and this stuff. I've been listening to you. I mean, I have to be honest. And you start saying all those wonderful things. And I said, no, let me wait. Let me listen to what you say. And then you mention my books and I run to get them. And that's why I was late.
So
look, I get them. I said, I don't have the books. So I run inside to get the books. As I told you, I'm on the renovation.
I'm so glad that you did, because I have your intermittent fasting book, but it's in Costa Rica. And I was like, I want to be able to hold it up. So good.
What are you now?
Because I'm in Texas right now.
Oh, you're in your house?
Yeah, I'm just at my house. But yeah, where you came. So that is what I wanted to talk about, because when I think of you, I mean, I just instantly smile. I think of the day you walked into my home. I was terrified to be interviewed. I think you remember I was trying to learn the Spanish and do it in Spanish, which was a total bust. But Cecilia did an amazing interview on Primer Impacto on Univision. So I want to kind of start with what even made you want to do the story? I don't know the story, by the way.
Well, Okay, this is really funny because I think we have to be open to the science and the messages that come in front of us, and that you were one of those. I was working on one of the editors. I used to work in Univision, as you well know. I'm not there anymore, but I'll tell you a story later. So one of the editor came to me and he said, "Have you heard about this fascia blaster?" No, he said your name actually. This Ashley Black Guru. And I said, "No, what is that? Who is it?" And he said, "No, my wife asked me to ask you if you know her, if you recommend her." And I said, "I haven't heard. What is she about?" And he said something like, "Okay, she has this stick, something, and
I love to
cellulite."
hear when people describe it.
Yeah, he's a man. I mean, he doesn't know. He's sending the message from the wife. And I said, she wants to know if that works. And I said, "Listen, I will tell her things work if you use them. Because
Right.
we buy so many things and we just put them there. If you use them, I'm sure it will work. But I don't know. Let me find out. Tell her to send me the link and I will see it." Then she sent it. I sit on the top, but I didn't have time to talk to him. And then I went to Panama to my sister's apartment, and I saw in her bathroom that she had a fascia blaster. And
In Panama.
in Panama, and I said, "What?" So she wasn't there. I texted, and I said, "Do you have a fascia blaster? You too?" And she was like, "Oh, my daughter gave it to me because she's using it and she is amazed with the fascia blaster. Her cellulitis is going away." And I said, "Oh, seriously?" So then I came back to Florida and I texted her, her daughter, and I said, "Tell me all about this fascia blaster." And she said, "No, Tia, it's wonderful. You have to see my legs." And, she started talking about that. So I look into your website and I start reading and I said, "Okay, this is it. I have to do this story. I can't wait." So I started looking and I sold the story.
How many times have somebody pitched some sort of cellulite story? I mean,
well,
a million.
to be honest, this is one of the stories that people like the most. And like in the show I was working for, that was like the hot thing because people always want to lose weight and mostly want to lose cellulite. I mean, everything that we're looking for the cure to cellulite forever. And that I've been trying to see, I mean, this cream, this machine, this, that, and it really hasn't been something that really, really works. And, but I think the minute I talked to my executive producer about you and what the thing, in 2 minutes, she said, "Go ahead, do it." And that's when I called you, and that's when I went to Texas, and it was amazing because I don't know if your followers had the opportunity to meet you in person. Oh my God, she is amazing. She has this personality that you are so down to earth, first of all, so natural, so you, and that's something that it's not because you're a celebrity. I mean, you're a person that is all over the place, and you were like so natural. I remember you coming from your room with the rollers and all that, like, "Hi, how are you?" And I was like, "Oh my God, she's amazing." So I think we connected in a way that was great because I think we had the same view about health and most the empowerment of women. Remember we were talking in your room. And it was,
I mean, it almost immediately went to that conversation.
Yes.
And I was like, wow, we're such kindred spirits because, I feel like it's funny that you call me a celebrity. I don't feel like a celebrity at all, but just even having any position of influence or being known in any kind of way, don't you feel just a huge sense of responsibility to use that? I mean, I can't even imagine like the fame chasing for fame. It's like, for me, it's an honor that people know me. It's an honor when they approach me. And, obviously it's not even about me or whether I look cute in their picture or not. It's more like, wow, I was able to touch someone's life. And that
exactly.
You do that. So I know how that feels.
Well, it's a big difference, when you do your work and you have no interest in becoming famous, but that you find something that you feel so good about it, that you really want to do it, that comes like it's like a natural thing because people will look for it. And since you're not since you're not pushing it like okay, look at me, and doing this and doing that, but you're just doing it and it works. That's the thing.
Yeah.
When it works, people say, okay, I want to know more. I mean, like I have a picture of me on top of your face. I don't know why. Oh, these are the comments. These are the comments. Okay, now it's moving.
They are the best comments are going up. They're like, let's see, Timberly
I see
Gray
my sister.
great.
My sister is there. I was talking about you. So yeah, I think that's the thing. When you're trying to empower people, when you're trying to help them, when you're trying to give more than get,
right.
It's a natural thing. People is gonna follow you. People is gonna try to, because one of the things that I like the most is like when I went to your house and you were showing me all these techniques and all that behind the cameras, and
yeah, we were sneaking off immediately. I was like, forget this interview. Like, let's go talk, girl talk.
Yeah, and I love this Facebook because this is so natural. We can talk about whatever. It's not TV, really.
Yeah.
So isn't
it great?
Yeah.
There's no producer.
Exactly. So it's like you were telling me, stay longer, remember? And I'm gonna have your face plaster all over. And it was like, oh my God, I wish I would not. Because it was like amazing.
It was so fun. And the interview came out amazing. Thank
you.
I have to, now I can actually understand it. I can speak enough that I can understand it, but
really?
It was beautiful. And I have to tell you, when it aired, I was in Costa Rica and I was sitting at a bar, like with my hair on top of my head, and it was playing in the bar. And I was like, no one knows that's me.
I didn't know that story. Really?
Like a little beach bar. It was really, really cute because, Univision obviously plays down there. So I want to talk about your career and how you got here. And I also do want to talk about some of the struggles of, being in front of the camera as you basically grow up. I mean, you were in front of the camera your whole life pretty much.
Yes. I started in Venezuela, where I'm from. And then I moved to the United States 30 years ago. And I became a mother. I think one of the biggest struggles we all women have, doesn't matter where you work, is the motherhood. When you have babies and then you need to go to a full-time job and you're expected to be like everybody else, and this competition. And sometimes I feel like you kind of have to choose, like being because it's very hard to balance. It's really, really hard. And I will say almost impossible. So I had the blessings that I could take time to raise my kids until they were in an age that they could go to school, like a half a day, these very first years, the pre-kindergarten and that kind of things. But after that, still, if you're a mother and my kids are grown up and you continue being a mother, it doesn't matter what, and you know it. So
it's always, I had my kids all week with me last week in Costa Rica and their friends.
Wow.
I'm definitely learning that becoming an empty nester does not mean that you actually have an empty nest.
Exactly. So I think that's the biggest one to every woman. But working on TV and being in front of the camera, obviously, is the aging, and it happens in every market. Happen to women, not to men. And I think we talk about that. I mean, a man looks handsome with his gray hair and the wrinkles, that's experience, that's fine. He looks very, like an experienced man. And a woman cannot look the way she looked when she grew up. She cannot have one gray hair, for God's sake. I mean,
right.
Not even if you don't go on TV.
Did you actually get pressured about that? Like, did you have...
You do,
within the industry, or was it, I don't want to say self-induced. It's not self-induced. It's real. But, would people say things,
I mean,
in the industry?
yes and no. I mean, like I cannot say somebody will tell me you cannot be in camera because you are old directly. I did have some hints like, oh, you still look good in camera, that kind of thing. That is like, thank you, like I mean, should I go? Should I go to human resources or shouldn't I? That kind of question. What do I do now? But this always this kind of pressure of looking good in front of the camera, because I mean, this is something that I always think we women do to ourselves.
Yeah.
We are so harsh on ourselves and on other women. I mean, we don't forgive women getting old, and we are all have to get old. There's no way around it. You have to get old.
Cecilia, I always say we're all on the ugly train. It's just a matter of time. I mean, like, even the most beautiful 98-year-old is still a 98-year-old. I think the way that I kind of combated that was, instead of waiting for somebody to tell me that I'm aging, that's why I just do, no makeup, whatever the hair is doing, show myself from the worst
Yes,
possible angles, because then I feel like I'm in front of it.
I love
I
that.
can't even imagine like having to pretend, or like, walk around with a selfie circle or something like that. And I think that people who are actually on TV, that there is a lot more pressure for that.
Well, imagine this. I mean, like I keep talking about this with my son. Helps me a lot. He must be now. He works with me in all these technical things. He's a photographer in Washington D.C., so he does all my taking and all that. And he tells me, "Why don't you go live with that? Whatever happens, something is happening in the news or something. Say, why don't you go live with that?" See, it's not that easy. Going live to me is putting the makeup, doing the hair, getting the lighting, getting the clothes, getting the thing. And I see the men that I love them, people that I know that are, on this social media, just turn on the freaking phone, and they're right there like, oh, hi, this is me, whatever, whatever, whatever. And I said, so when I see you without makeup, I love that. And I have done it a few times, but, like a night like today is very special for me. And, it's like I have to have makeup. I cannot go in this, with your people. No. This is not the moment. So yes, we put pressure on ourselves, but I think that I see it in every woman, in any kind of things that they're doing, not necessarily only TV.
I was about to say, my message, and I'm sure you feel this way, I went to the UK and did a launch, and this beautiful girl who is on that show, Love Island, I mean, when I look at her, she has a perfect body, like literally perfect. And we had the conversation, that she's getting bullied for like, oh, her shoulders are too big, or she's manly, or her legs are too muscular, or whatever. So it's just kind of like, it really doesn't matter how beautiful or perfect or not that you are. Somebody is always going to have something to say, and we cannot, as women, absorb that and let that become our self-talk, because it happens to literally every single person, whether you have 15 followers or 15 million followers.
Exactly.
It's happening. I don't understand why women do that. I know in my Facebook group, I am kind of like the mama hen, and I'm like, no, we don't act that way in here, because if we tear each other down, then we certainly don't have a chance.
And it happens happens very easily. I have a big group of Detox with the green juices, and I do the same thing. I keep control because it's amazing. And I guess eventually we're all going to, realize that this is not building us up. This is just very hurtful for so many people. When you talk about weight, people that is overweight, people that is doing these kind of things that you do and the things that I do, like the detox and the intermittent fasting, people feels that, they feel that they are not really worth it, that they're being picked on, they feel bad. So I'm trying to make a safe haven for them in my group. Like to tell them, here you guys can talk and you can feel and you can ask questions, but I have to control it. We and the moderators have to control it, because the minute somebody has the chance to say, oh my God, because you whatever, it's an attack immediately. So I think we women have to empower each other, support each 100%. Other, and really stop picking on each other or looking for the defect. When I do makeup on myself, because I like the way I look.
Everyone,
Come again? I'm sorry.
There's a defect in every. I mean, like I said, I worked with Victoria's Secrets models, and they are like, oh, this thing or that thing or whatever. So it's like we're chasing something that doesn't even exist, and then we're faulting each other when it doesn't, when in reality what you and I are trying to do is to say, just be healthy and embrace each other. And like, I don't know when perfection became the goal.
Yeah, and it's not an obtainable goal. Nobody's gonna get there, and we might as well feel very blessed with what we have and
Yes.
enjoy life, because this is all we have. I mean, these things that I am very concerned about is when people put their health at risk trying to accomplish or to reach a goal unobtainable, like in looking like somebody else. And that
Oh my gosh,
happens
Cecilia,
all the
that's
time.
such a, what a huge topic.
I remember,
We could do a whole hour on
I
that.
know, I remember the beginning of my journalist work as a health reporter at Univision, and I would interview plastic surgeons, and they would tell me people brings the picture of a celebrity and say, I want to look like her. I mean, there is something inside the person that needs to be, taken care of, because,
Mm-hmm.
but also it's the society we live in, and it's the media, and it's so many things that are pressuring women to be in a certain way, and we feel sometimes like if we don't look that way, we're not going to be loved or accepted. So we need to be very careful and say,
Well, I know this is your passion, and you made a huge transition to go in this direction. So let's talk about that. So going from full glam life to really advocate.
yes, and it started early in my career, because it started first with the health issues. Because as a health reporter, you start looking into, what's going on. You do interviews. You find that there is some new devices or technology or scientific work or studies, and you go interview, and then you realize that science don't have all the answers, or doctors or medicine, and then you start feeling frustrated as a reporter when you go to a hospital and see the kids have cancer, and the parents are telling you, we have to go home. There's nothing we can do about this. The doctor told me, go home. And I start getting very, very frustrated. So I get into all kind of alternative programs that you can imagine.
I was going to say, how weird are you? Let's, because I feel like I've gone, like, particularly now with my move to Costa Rica, that now I'm actually working with, like, ancient medicine people, and
Yes.
definitely into the meditation and all that. So how weird are you?
I am very weird, but I look normal, so if nobody knows. I try to look normal. But yeah, I get involved in so many things because of that frustration that I had. And I went into energy medicine. I went to Reiki. When you put the hands, when you do healings, all that. I interview all kind of people trying to find an answer. There has to be something more. There has to be something, that they're not telling us. And I found that, and that's how I end up, before I tell you how weird I am, I end up with the nutrition. Because after so many things I saw, and so many people that I interview, I realized that what you eat can kill you or can heal you. And that is the bottom line. Everything, even what you eat, is going to change your mind, your spirit, your emotion. It's going to affect and alter everything in your life. But yes, I interview, people, shamans and all that. And I think they all have a role in our life. We all can benefit on healing, on meditation, on yoga, on all these things that used to be called New Age when I was.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's called that way
now they're
anymore.
becoming less New Age.
Like a more mainstream, I guess. I don't know, but it used to be, that's New Age, that's hippie stuff. But in reality, I see like now more doctors are looking for an answer for their patients, and they're looking into meditation themselves. They're looking into yoga, into nutrition. I was amazed because I did this. One of my main projects in Univision was to let me give out news you can use to our viewers in very simple terms. Like the segment was called Vida Sana con Cecelia. And it was so simple, like what do you do with whatever, personally, the benefits, but how you can use it. And people went crazy. it was like a discovery. Oh my God, I didn't know I can get. Yeah. I started my first segment was drinking a glass of water every morning with lemon juice, and I'm telling you that was like 7, 9 years ago. I don't remember exactly. It was a long time ago, and that was like a discovery. Now everybody talks about that. Now everybody drinks that.
I just think people don't have a clue where to start.
Yes.
And I actually was on a live feed in our 101 group. So it's like for the newbies. And this one lady was like, overwhelming, can't do it. And I was like, start with exactly what you said. Drink water and pick one body part and blast it. That's it. Just start with that.
Exactly.
You know? So I want to make sure with the intermittent fasting, because there's so much out there, that I want to get that same knowledge out of you for that. But I know that you've written that was not the first book. So did you run down the nutrition trail first? That was the first thing that you globbed onto and said, I got to talk about it.
Yes, I started being interested in everything. And when I started discovering nutrition and the food, I really loved that, to learn about the benefits and the properties of different kind of foods. And I started changing my lifestyle. I used to eat meat and all that. Now I'm a vegan, but it's been like a transition, slow, process. And I discovered detox. I discovered we could do a detox that wasn't that hard to do, that was actually nurturing, that will help you not only to detox your body, but will heal a lot of stuff. But I think with the green juices, you can get all this nutrition and all these benefits. So I start practicing myself, and people get so interested. I have followers that would, every time I will put a picture and say, oh, I'm doing my juice with this and this and that, and people went crazy. So I decided to do a flyer for Facebook and to give it to them, because they were asking. And then I got interviewed in my show. What is it that you're doing about this detox thingy? And people were going like, I want to know more. So I started doing a little flyer, and it became a book. So
show it to us, because I know that people are going to want to get it.
Sure. So the book, in the beginning, the book was like a personal thing. We did it with my kids. My son did the picture. He was starting also doing photography. My daughter did this kind of illustration because she's an artist. And we did self-publishing. But then it went such a big success.
It went crazy.
That HarperCollins bought it from me. And it was just like a crazy things, because you know what happened? What amazed me the more was like we always said about the Hispanics, no? That we eat bad, that we eat only, like carbohydrates and very bad food, and we're not interested in changing our way of eating or our lifestyle. And when I started doing this segment, that was kind of the feedback I got in these meetings, that it took me like a year pushing and pushing and pushing. And I'm
your son's on.
Yeah, because people, they're not really interested in that. And I said, but give me the chance. Let me talk to that. I mean, let me do it. And then if it doesn't work, we just cancel the segment, the show. And finally, they allow me to do it, and it was a hit. I mean, an amazing hit, so big.
It just goes to show you that people want to heal themselves, and they are willing to do it, because a lot of times you hear that, oh, well, I don't recommend it because people just want a pill and they want to do. I have found the opposite. I've found that people are starving for the information, and if it makes them feel better, they'll do it. I would love to talk a little bit about the detox, because I think that's a great way to actually start a program, to go ahead and clean everything out. So what do you do for your detox?
Well, that's actually part of my program. What I recommend is people prepare themselves for the detox, which is 5 days only drinking green juices and water and tea. But no food, no solid foods, and nothing like that. Of course, when I started, it sounded like a crazy thing, but now people is, understanding.
I know what happens in 5 days. I mean, I would think
this is an amazing thing. Result. Yes, it's very dramatic, the changes that you feel. I do something that I call pre-detox, and I invite people to start eating clean. They start eating fresh and healthy, so they start getting their body adjust to what is coming, and also to get rid of a lot of toxins while you're still eating. but you have to stop eating meat and all those carbohydrates and refined food and processed food and all that have to go out of your nutrition for those days. And then in this process that I decided, let's do it in 4 weeks for everybody, because it depends how toxic you feel you are. Some people that just do it for a week because they eat clean, so that's fine. But in that process only, people start feeling so great because they start feeling that they are light, they lose weight, they losing the inflammation, they start feeling like this energy that all of a sudden, oh wow, what is this? I never felt this way. And they feel,
we actually think that we're getting older and we're losing energy, or that it's hormones or something like that, but it's the food.
Yeah, and it's the amount of toxins we have. We get toxins from everything. I mean, everything from the air we breathe, the water, the food we eat, the electromagnetism, all that is contaminating us, and from our thoughts, which is very important. We create negativity and toxins that become physical in our body every time we continue thinking negative thoughts. Negative thoughts are gonna come. They're gonna be there. They're involuntary, but you have to realize that they're there, and you have to do something to change them or to ignore them, to let them go and pass. But if you stay there, I always said, the problem is not that you have negative thoughts. The problem is that how long you allow them to be in your mind. Because imagine when you start thinking negative things, like the fight you had with somebody, and he told me, and yet I told him, and this and that, that creates a change in your hormones, in your
and in your frequency, your vibrational frequencies, energy. Yeah,
you start creating toxins that are going to hurt your body, physical body, of course, your emotional body, your mental body. So there's so many things that are giving us these toxins around. And that's part of what I write in the book, that you need not only do the physical detox with the juices and all that, but you have to also detox your mind. And you have to detox your feelings and all that, because otherwise, you're not really doing what you need to do. So imagine that, 5 days. You're going to get up in the morning.
So when you have people doing the physical detox, do you have them doing a lot of self-care and meditation and prayer?
That's exactly.
Like kind of take a little time off from life.
Exactly. That's what I was going to tell you.
Nurture the spirit.
The idea and the ideal will be that you have 5 days for yourself. Because it is something for yourself, actually.
Do you know how many people go 5 days like, no way could I do that? I think I've become the queen of self-care lately.
Oh, that's great. That's wonderful.
I love it. Once you really start doing self-care, like I've done some weird stuff, girl. I went and walked this maze of cactuses and all this kind of stuff. But for me, I feel like I am intentionally doing things for myself. And it's amazing how few negative thoughts come. And even when they come, it's just like, oh, that was a thought. I recognize it and I'm done with it. And it really does feel like my body's starting to let go of some of the stomach fat that appeared out of nowhere 2 years ago. So I feel like for sure these things all go together. And I love the idea of a 5-day juice detox. Is there anyone that can't do it? What about diabetics? What about low blood sugar, lack of electrolytes?
First of all, the women that are pregnant or they are giving breastfeeding their babies, they should not do it, because you're going to start losing toxins, and then you're going to give the toxins through the milk to the baby, or you're going to feed the baby in your womb with the toxins. So you should not do it while you're in those situations. People with diabetes, they should do it under supervision, because you're not going to be eating, or it depends, in each case is different. But the important thing is to keep in mind is that through food and through eating and through the fasting, you can cure diabetes. I don't like to be like people is going to say, okay, this is irresponsible for you to say that. I'm a journalist of so many years, and every time I'm going to do an interview.
I love the freedom of the press.
I'm going to do like any kind of interview. I have to do a lot of research, because that's the way I worked all my life. So I don't have just a title of journalist. I do my work. And I interview many people. I remember many years ago, and he's one of my mentors. He's written in my 2 books, Dr. Gabriel Cousens. he used to say he heals diabetes. He reverted. Done with diabetes type 2. And I went to interview him. And one of the things he does, his protocol is to put people into organic, vegan, raw food and a detox with green juices. I learned a lot from him, what I wrote in my book. He's my mentor. So I was amazed because everybody used to say, nah, diabetes is something incurable. It's going to be forever with you. The only thing you can do is to control it. That's it. But nowadays we know that that's not true. Well,
controlling it, feeds our pockets.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it's really true. Like, I hate to be the political person here, but if we really look at it, we want to get away from things that stuff money in people's pockets because it's just hard to get the truth.
Well, and that I unfortunately, most of the things that are going not too good in a society come from interests of people that they want you to continue eating 500 times a day, and they want you to forget the natural protocols can help you because you have to go to a doctor, you need to buy a pill, you need to get into a surgery room, you need to continue in this kind of social environment that is created by corporations and all that. And how dare you say that having 5 days of juicing is going to change your life so amazingly. I said this is 5 days that will transform your life because not only it gives you these physical, changes and you feel so great and mentally and all that, but it gives you something that I find very important is to give you freedom from food. For the first time, you realize that food doesn't control you, that you control food and you eat whenever you want, and the food is not telling you, okay, come here to the
right,
fridge.
It's noon, it's 6, yeah.
Exactly. So, and it gives you power. It gives you self-confidence. Like you feel like wow. And the people that write it in the Facebook groups, they say, I could never imagine that I will pass 1 day without eating solid food, and that I could go 5 days, and that I was this strong, I was this powerful, and I never knew. And that's something that I think is maybe the most important thing, because when you control your food, you can control everything in your life, actually.
I feel like there's this huge myth too that if you fast, and then we'll talk about intermittent fasting in a second, that you're going to lose all your muscles. People are like, well, what about the protein, or and that's just not what the science says.
Well, the thing is that it's like everything else. When something is different for what you're taught, or or you want to be true, you're always gonna find something bad. Like when you tell somebody you're vegan, what is the first thing they say? Oh my God, where did you get your protein? When you don't say that, nobody cares about what you eat. When you tell people, okay, I'm gonna go to the corner to buy McDonald's, anybody wants something? Everybody's like, oh, okay, bring me this, bring me that.
My favorite is Starbucks. I've been living in a place where there is no Starbucks, and that was the first thing I noticed being in Vegas. Was everybody was like, do you want Starbucks? And I was thinking, no, I don't.
No,
I really don't. So funny. It's funny culturally because living in a blue zone, they've never been exposed to this other stuff. So it's eating whole foods and fresh fish and walking to the store and
yeah,
supporting
and
your
the
110-year-old mom.
Exactly.
It's like a normal part of life. So I love the freedom from food. Let's talk about that, because I have been saying over and over that one of the things I love about the intermittent fasting is just the freedom from breakfast, or I don't even want to call it a meal at this point. I mean, I don't eat way later in the day. So how did the cleanse become intermittent fasting, and where's the passion behind that?
Well, the thing is that after I did the detox and the book and all that, people keep asking me, okay, I feel great. I lost, because you lose a lot of weight. When you do the detox in 5 days, you can lose 15 pounds, 20 pounds. I mean, people can't believe it. And
do you guys hear that?
I only lose 8 pounds.
If anybody, I feel like too, Cecilia, we're like halfway in the program. And last week we all had our minds blown with the people who wrote the ketogenic Bible. And but they were talking about all the latest science on, you know, HIIT training and all of that. So I think everybody had that like, okay, let's redesign the program. But if you're halfway and you're stuck or you need a kickstart, like what a great way to do it.
Yeah, I think that's what I believe. You have to implement the detox, and then you go into intermittent fasting, because that would be a great way to maintain the effects of the detox. We do the detox 4 times a year with the change of every season. Actually, this week is.
Is that because of the foods? Because you have a seasonal change in
No.
foods, or it's
No,
just for you?
it's just because the recommended thing is that you do detox every so often. You can do it more often or less often, but we decide, like, with every season change, it's a good thing to start all over. You know, like right now it's a spring, and we're doing it this week. We started yesterday, so the whole group is doing the detox, and the idea is, after the detox, they keep asking me, what are we gonna do? And I keep saying, okay, keep eating fresh, healthy, you know, and eat clean, mostly. Try to continue eating like in the pre-detox. But, you know, actually that becomes very hard. You have to have some sort of discipline or strong will to continue. Once you end up back in the same story, your people around, the restaurants, the food, the temptations, all that.
There were people asking, like, what do you do when you're in a restaurant? But I was going to answer and just say, you just don't eat. You just be social and have like some flavored water, you know?
Yeah. Well,
I'm all about, I call it a fojito, and I put mint and stevia and, you know, just sparkling water and lime. And I feel like I'm amongst the crowd having my cocktail, when in essence I'm just drinking water.
Yeah, you have to manage. I think one of the things that, if you want to talk about the intermittent fasting, now one of the things that I found more great about the intermittent fasting, that is very flexible, because you don't need to be like it's not a diet. If you need to go to a dinner party, or you need to have breakfast, because it's not only the breakfast that you can you know, like avoid that meal, or you can do also dinner
or
or one whole day, or whatever amount of hours people want to do, and we can get into that in a minute. So let's say you're doing the 16-8, which is one of the one I talk in my book with more details, and also the 5-2. What it means is 16 hours without eating, and then 8 hours without, with food. And you have this window to eat, hopefully clean food. That's my goal. You know, that people don't go and start eating junk food, because I think it's you know, it's like a wasting the
it doesn't
benefits.
good to intermittent fast and then roll through.
Exactly. Even
fast food.
Even they say it works from the point of view of losing weight, maybe, but the idea is that you control your what you eat after the fasting, in a way that you don't raise your blood sugar and your insulin in ways that it's going to be very hard then to go back to the low point of those hormones. No, what I think is that, let's say you're doing the 16-8, and then tomorrow, and you don't have breakfast. Then tomorrow you have an invitation, or you have a business breakfast. What I mean, sometimes you can just go and you eat. No, nothing happened. Next day, you go back to your fasting. You know what I mean? It's very flexible. You don't have to feel that you're doing a diet, and then if you break your diet of, you know, restricting calories, you're gonna gain 5 pounds, because that's what happens normally.
They just asked that. They're talking about the calories. I'm trying so hard to stay away from that, because coming from the bodybuilding world, you know, it was a very specific, your macros, when you ate, you know, exactly how many calories. I mean, I've even done all the the testing and all of that. But I really do think that when I look at the people with the best bodies and the best outlook and all that kind of stuff, they're way more flexible, because you really, if you're just doing all the right things and you're happy about it and it's your lifestyle, I feel like the rest of it happens on its own. I definitely am not counting calories.
No.
I'm just
And you
You know, eating
shouldn't.
shy of being full, doing the intermittent fasting. And I actually try to fast until I go, wow, wait, I'm a little lightheaded. Oh, I must be hungry. I don't even identify anymore with the feeling of hungry
Hunger.
or full.
Yeah, because
I don't like that feeling.
that's one of the greatest things of fasting, that after you start doing it, I will say like in 2 weeks, your hunger disappear. You don't feel
Yeah.
hungry anymore. And then it happens like that to me all the time. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon and I haven't eaten anything. And I say, oh, I forgot. Because you don't feel, I mean, let's say maybe some at certain moments in the morning or at noon, you can feel something. But if you have some water, you have tea or you have coffee, it goes away and then you feel fine. The important thing is that I mean, intermittent fasting has so many benefits. You don't have to count any calories, only in the 5-2. But the idea is that you eat very low calories, so that mimic fasting. You know,
Mm-hmm.
these 2 days a
Yeah, you're
week.
getting that same burning of the fat. You're in that like
Exactly.
hyper fat. Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to worry about anything. You eat it normal for 5 days, normal like you always eat, and then for 2 days in no consecutive, you're gonna eat, the woman only 500 calories, and the man will eat 600 calories, which is very low. But the idea is that you're gonna be eating something, and during the day you have to stretch it. So if you wanna eat one big lunch, well, it's not that big. It's 500 calories. That's why it's good to be vegetarian in
Right.
those cases, because you get a big salad or something like that, or you eat 3 meals with very low calories, very low food.
Right.
So that will be the only one. But that's for women. I found that it's very effective to lose weight.
So
More.
let me ask you, we have someone who I think has a legitimate question, and I think it's kind of a societal thing, and there's probably more people thinking it. But when you said, going till 5 o'clock, and then you're like, oh, I need to eat, they're like, how can that be healthy? I think that we definitely have been conditioned, 3 meals a day. I know I came from the generation of clean your plate and eat dessert and the bread,
Yeah, I know.
and children are starving and whatnot. But, definitely the science that I've been reading, it's just not accurate. Basically we've been almost force feeding ourselves in the last 2 generations.
Yeah, I mean, imagine how many times we are supposed to eat a day. They tell us we have to have breakfast and then a snack and then lunch and then another snack and then dinner and then a midnight snack, before bed. And we don't give our body a break. The body really has, a very hard work digesting. Is what takes the most energy of your body, and you have a lot of processes that are going on with your hormones and everything in your body every time you eat. Like the raise of sugar, the segregation of insulin, and then you create a problem which I constantly in our body. No, we are eating and putting food constantly in our body, so our blood sugar is going up all the time. We don't give a chance for the body to burn what we ate, to use it as
That's right.
fuel. So what the body does is to store it, like as fat eventually. Okay, the idea of the natural way the body works is that you eat and then you have enough time between each meal to digest, to put whatever you don't use as a deposit, and that is a deposit that you have, like for when you don't have food, and you use that to burn it. You burn that fat. But what happened is that nowadays we don't stop eating. We eat constantly, so the body, it keeps accumulating, and now the body becomes uh-oh, is that me?
Oh, sorry.
Is that you?
I haven't propped in a vase of flowers tonight.
Okay, I just heard like, and I think maybe we were talking too long.
No.
I'm gonna put
You're
this to
good.
charge. I
There's
just
so
have
many
one
questions
only.
coming in. It's such a great topic, and I think that people are so excited to have your wisdom, because I know you've been running down this path. This is not a new thing for you. This is years and years of research that have gone into
Yes,
your books and information, and you practice it. So you can give
Exactly.
us the girlfriend talk. Because one of the ladies asked, she's like, well, how long does the hanger last? You know? So I think a lot of women have been trying this, you know, that are in my group. And it's such a, you know, foreign concept that, you know, they do, at least it feels hungry or it feels angry, you know. So I think we could definitely use some, you know, suggestions on that, because you know, I've learned for me, you know, 8 almonds and whatever was going on, I'm fine. You know, I just think that we get in our mind that we're starving and we need to eat a meal, when the reality is we may just need a little something. I know for me, I break my intermittent fast with, I do tonics. Now none of them have sugar. I do a greens, beets, which I guess technically has a little bit of natural sugar, turmeric, ginger, and I do break fast with those. That's like my morning thing. But I certainly don't feel like that inhibits, you know, weight loss or, you know, the benefits of fasting. So what's your take? You know, what are people saying
Yeah,
about breaking fast? Or
you are frozen in my phone.
oh, I'm frozen.
Yeah, I don't know why. It's completely frozen, and also the comments and everything got frozen. But you see me fine?
Yeah, we see you great.
Okay. So I'll continue talking to a picture.
Sorry.
I don't know what happened.
Am I in a weird, does my face look strange? I
No, you
always,
look
whenever
good.
it gets frozen, I feel like I get frozen like.
No, don't worry. You look good. Okay, but going
I
back
always
to
feel like the thumbnail too. They pick the ugliest second where you're like, you know.
oh my God, the thumbnails. We used to do the Facebook Live and like a like a don't move
Right, you get ready for it.
to end up in a nice smile or something and not at all. Okay, so going back to the question about if it's healthy not to eat or only eat one meal a day, I think that's what you said is exactly right. We're being taught that we need to eat all the 3 meals and the snacks and all that. I mean, in the last, I think 2 decades, people start eating more and more and more. This idea of eating small meals 6 times a day for, reactivate your metabolism and all that, created this idea that you have to eat. And of course, again, the corporations, the people that makes food want you to eat. I mean, that is like a normal thing. It's their business. If you don't eat, they don't sell. But in reality, we are eating way too much, and we're putting all this pressure in our body, and we're seeing the results. I mean, we have an epidemic of diabetes, not only in this country, but let's say in the Latin American world, diabetes type 2 is an epidemic, and that is a disease that is a result of the way you eat. I mean, and it can be reversed with food, like many other diseases and many other problems that are out there. I hate to see your picture all frozen. I don't know if we need to solve this problem.
So
We need to do something here.
Around just great.
You're frozen. Because I don't see your reaction when I speak.
I know. I'm like that too when I interview. I had it happen to me a few weeks ago where
Really?
it was, the guest was frozen for me, and I was like, I want to be able to see you. I'm so sorry.
No
sure
problem.
Like
Okay. So my answer is no, it's not unhealthy to eat 1 meal or 2 meals a day. Of course, eat the best food possible, because if you're it's like being vegan. Okay, I'm gonna eat Coke. I'm gonna eat Oreo cookies and drink Coke. That's vegan.
Oh my God.
Isn't it?
That would never even strike me to eat Oreos and a Coke. It's so beautiful when you move away from that. And I don't mean physically move, but like when your life just moves away from that. It's really empowering and a freedom. So they're asking about like teas and coffees.
Okay, so there is ways.
That breaking fast?
I don't know, my phone. I don't know what happened here. Hold on, don't move. I think
nobody go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere. I just need to know why this is not charging. It's supposed to be charging, but it's not.
I don't know about you guys, but I just enjoy listening to Cecilia's Venezuelan accent. It's a very special accent, girl. I love it.
Oh my God, that is something like what can I do about it? Okay, so the thing is that, okay, you're asking me about, there are many techniques or heat tips that we can use to control hunger. No, is that what you're asking me about?
Yeah.
That people can feel the hunger. The hunger is going to be
Well,
there.
they're asking first, does it break a fast to have coffee, tea, or like a green, a green smoothie that doesn't have sugar? Does that break the fast?
A green
And
smoothie,
then,
yes.
okay.
Coffee, tea, fat, because there is a fat fasting. That when you the most important thing where you're fasting is that your blood sugar doesn't go up. So you don't have to do the insulin thing that I explained to you. So fat doesn't raise your blood sugar. So you can have, which is something I do every morning, but not only to control hunger, because I'm not hungry in the morning. I mean, I never like to have breakfast, and I felt guilty. Then I started pushing breakfast because everybody was saying it was the most important meal of the day, but I wasn't really hungry. And I realized every time I ate breakfast, I was more hungry than ever, and I wanted to eat more and more and more. So I just do it because of the brain, because I use the MCT oil and I use the coconut oil, which are the MCT oil is like ketones that feed your brain. And one of the things that you get when you do the intermittent fasting is that you have this clarity of mind that is amazing. And that is for not eating, because when you stop eating, your body starts feeding itself of the fat deposits that you have. But your brain doesn't use fat like that. It uses the ketones. And the liver converts the fat into ketones and feeds it's like the perfect food for your brain. And you start feeling this amazing clarity of mind that, this fog goes away and you start have more concentration and all that. So that's what I do every morning. My first coffee is with stevia. I can drink coffee without stevia, but you got this, I don't know. I used to use sugar many years ago. So the coffee is always like with sweet. And then I put coconut oil and I put the MCT oil. And I have, I have a little, those things that get the foam. Are you there? Because I don't see you. I see you, but I don't.
I'm shaking my head. Yes.
Okay.
You're
shaking your head. Okay. I can see that. So that's what I drink in the morning. And that's perfect because I control hunger. So if anybody's afraid to feel hungry, I would suggest it's called Bulletproof Coffee. And if you understand Spanish or whatever, go to my YouTube channel. I'm preparing it there so you can see. It's very easy to do. I mean, let's say you put 4 cups of coffee, recently, brew in a Vitamix in a blender, and then you put like a 2 spoons of coconut oil and then another spoon of MCT oil. People that eat.
We could explain to them MCT oil. We talk about it quite a bit in our ketogenic group, but I think we have some newbies.
Okay, this is the middle chain triglycerides. It's coconut derived, and it will produce in your body. It will be like drinking ketones, and that's what feeds your brain. That's what helps you. I had this. Because the thing is, the intermittent fasting has so many benefits, and one of the benefits is that it helps. It creates something called autophagy, that your body starts eating the excess of the cells, but mostly the proteins. And in our brain, we can have accumulation of amyloids and all that is the precursor of Alzheimer's disease. So one of the benefits of fasting is exactly to prevent or to try to maintain the best health in our brain. So that taking the MCT oil is going to help you. Of course, you're going to find anybody who said that it's not healthy, that don't use coconut oil, because you have seen the news of a doctor made one study, and that was the end of it. Everybody's asking me what happened. It's poison. I think she said that in the study.
Yeah, I've seen the anti-stevia movement too.
Yeah.
Just like,
So we have to go to the real source, because there's always this kind of delivery. I don't know what the word is, but it's like on purpose. That many companies and many, we'll go back to that political part that you don't like, but this their interest. Okay, so Listen, we are learning now, thanks to the internet and the access people is having to all this information, that we can heal ourselves, that we can keep ourselves healthy, that we really don't need a doctor unless we're sick. The medicine that we have in this country is not a preventive medicine. It's a medicine that is going to take care of problems that you have when you're already sick. Otherwise, you can, I mean, you don't need a doctor. When you go to your doctor, he asks you what you eat, how you feel, if you have a problem with your husband, your kids, what is
How's your fascia?
Yeah,
Never
exactly. Nothing. I mean, I had this pain here. They say, okay, take a pill. Take a muscle relaxer that is going to give you problem maybe in your stomach.
Well, I also think, Cecilia, I talk about this all the time. It's like we need to stop going to doctors for that, because they're not trained in nutrition. They're not trained in fascia. You know, they're trained in what they're trained in. And,
Exactly.
you know, for us to think that an MD is all encompassing, and, you know, that's a societal shift I would love to see change, you know.
And it's happening.
First of all,
I think it's happening.
yeah, it is happening. It is certainly happening. And I'm really happy about that, because doctors should be able to do the amazing modern medicine, you know, that's available. But, you know, broaching over into these topics, you know, that's just not even.
Well, imagine a doctor, I mean, a person who wants to be a doctor in the School of Medicine, if they're lucky, they have 20 hours of classes of nutrition, if they're lucky, and that's it. They don't understand the relationship, the food, how food affects your body. And I mean, you will hear things like, oh, eat whatever you want. You know, you get out of a surgery or a problem that you solve, and then the doctor will tell you,
literally just happened.
You can eat whatever you want.
My boyfriend's dad, you know, they hooked him up to chemo, gave him a Coca-Cola. My boyfriend asked about you know, what can we do about diet? How can we support this? And, you know, he was like, you know, so we definitely have that, but hopefully we're shifting away from that. And I think that, you know, thank God for places like the Applied Science Performance Institute, where my last guest works, because they're actually studying fasting, you know, and they're studying fasting in terms of intermittent fasting, rotating fasting, fasting, and they're doing it. You know, I think a lot of times we think this is just for like women who need to lose weight or maybe curing disease, but you know, they're doing this with professional athletes, you know, for their performance. So I think that this is something that over the years is going to be, you know, so normalized, you know, and people aren't going to be asking these questions.
There is this movement also between medical doctors that are studying, you know, like certify themselves in functional medicine, which is this medicine that takes care of the root of the problems and not to solve the symptoms. And I studied with them in the University of Miami, clinical nutrition. We did classes there with them. They were my teachers or my mentors. And it's amazing how these are doctors who never heard about nutrition. Also they start realizing something is not working here with my patients. You know, because this is like the doctor who's giving you insulin when you have excess of insulin in your body. So like to control your diabetes type 2, and it's just like the patient is not getting better, the diabetes is not getting better. So they are learning that there are other, you know, protocols that you can use, like fasting, like detoxing, like what you eat, you know. Cutting this and cutting that, and maybe this is not a good idea that you're going to be eating processed food all day, or you're going to be eating so many times a day. So I think everything is becoming, and thanks to the internet, the people is going to start, you know, realizing that they can heal themselves. They can do so many things. Of course, I don't have anything against doctors. I have a lot of friends that are doctors, and I love them to death, but they also know they have this limitation when this is about nutrition, and also like we were talking in the beginning, this energy medicine, the importance of meditation, all that is this is not about losing weight. I believe that you are going to lose the weight when you start changing your lifestyle to a healthy one. you know?
Yep.
It's like a second, like a side effect. Of course, these people that has a lot of problems because they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to change their, I mean, like, for instance, what you do is amazing to me. I'm telling you, your fascia blaster works. I mean, period. There's no.
Well, and you know what I like about fascia blasting and incorporating all these components, including the intermittent fasting. And I remember when I told you about the program, you were like, yes, because the reality is I've actually touched and worked on your body. And because of everything else that you do, guess what? Your fascia was good to start with.
Yeah.
You know, you only needed a little bit of cleanup here and there, a little bit of scar tissue. But, you know, we always tell people to restore your fascia, use the fascia blaster. It is a hairbrush for your fascia.
Exactly.
But the reality is that fascia is a cell like any other cell, you know, and what you feed it or don't feed it, you know, how you talk to it,
Exactly.
you know, it's a communication system, right? I really believe that the fascia has a lot to do with the energy fields. I don't know how in the world you'd ever study or prove that, but you know, to me, it's just one more piece to this ginormous puzzle. And I'm so happy that we talked about more than the intermittent fasting, because intermittent fasting is just a way to kind of jazz up the rest of the whole
and it's a
program.
tool. It's one of the many tools that we can have and we can use, because it's not for everybody, you know. I think nothing is for everybody. And I also believe that this is not like the magic pill or wand that is going to solve all your problems. No, you have to solve your problems. You have to.
It starts in your head, really, your head and your heart.
You have to do the
I was having
work.
these conversations this week, and it was so funny. I have a guru that I follow for meditation, and she always starts off with a you know, like a little speech, I guess. You know, she always prepares something for me, which I just think so lovely. And I mean, this has been, it talk about getting like God signs all week long. Her whole spiel was about how foods have different frequencies of vibration, and some foods are, you know, raise your energy, and some foods, you know, lower your energy.
Yeah.
I was really sad to hear that mushrooms were a low energy food. But it just got me in the mindset thinking like, wow, it's so much more than just like the old school way of thinking with calories in and calories out. You know, it's your food, your mind, your spirit, your fascia, you know, taking time for yourself, all of that stuff. That's health. That's,
and that's
essence, health.
Well, we're talking in the beginning, we talk about taking time for yourself, those 5 days. I think that if we
I
don't...
love the 5 days. I'm going to do it.
Oh, good.
I'm going to do it, I have your book.
Did I send you the book? Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I have that book. I have
Good.
both books.
I think that if you don't take care of yourself and you really don't nurture yourself and love yourself and give yourself, you know, first what you need, you can't do anything for anybody else.
That's so true.
I mean, it's impossible. You cannot give what you don't have. So, you need to take time for yourself. I know it's complicated. I know it's not that easy, but at least you have to, the same way you say, okay, I'm going to have vacation this time of the year or something, you have to say, okay, this weekend, I'm going to take it for myself. I'm going to blast. I'm going to have the juice detox, or I'm going to start looking into this fasting, how that works, you know, and no, don't do it just to lose weight. I know the weight loss is a very important thing and people want to do that, but this is something like that where you put your attention and you're going to bring more of that. So if you keep putting your attention into
girl, that's a whole nother
subject. Yeah, we have to do another Facebook Live.
Cecilia, we're going to be on all night. It's so true. It is so true. I don't feel like I need to say hallelujah. I mean, it is.
Yeah. So if you keep looking at yourself in the mirror and looking at the bad part of you, the parts that you hate of you, you're gonna bring more of that because you put your attention on that. But if you put your attention into, wow, look at me, my God, I can't believe all the things I've done with my life. Look at my kids. Look at how gorgeous I am. Look at how healthy I am. Look at me. I can see. I can walk. I can do so many things. look at I have a roof over my head, or I have this profession, or this job, or whatever it is, whatever makes you proud, and remind yourself again and again, why do you start all this? I mean, because we have to have the intention clear. Because the idea, okay, I want to lose weight, but you can lose weight also with a disease, you know? So
it's so important, Cecilia. The start of my companion guide is all about finding your why.
Exactly.
And when I was actually taking people through it on the live feed, it was like they had a difficult time grasping why they want to do it. You know, I think that everybody goes, oh, okay, I can wear a bikini or shorts or freedom or all of that. But really, when you boil it down, we're all chasing a certain emotion that goes along with that. And I can tell you, for me personally, because I went the full Monty with this thing, I am to the point where I don't even care what I look like at the end of this, because my life has just changed so positively, you know? So I love that message. I love everything that you just said. So I know we're probably, I don't even have a clock, but I know we're getting close, but I definitely want,
well,
first
I
of
think
all,
we passed.
everybody wants to know if they can get your book in English. If not, girl, we're going to have it translated.
We're going to have to translate it, because as of now, it's in Spanish, both of them. I didn't show you my, did I? No, I didn't. This is the intermittent fasting one. Look how drinking juices and detoxing make you look after years.
I know. Wow. It's amazing. You just look more gorgeous every day.
I kid with you, because I mean, you're such a, I mean, I love talking to you. You're so open. You are there, and we really connected, and I really appreciate a lot that you invited me to be part of your New Year, New You. I think, I mean, I had this big book. I'm going to do it one day completely. I promise.
Yeah, you got to go A to Z. Like, everything you talked about is basically like the New Year, New You program.
Yeah.
So I think we collaborate and do it in English and Spanish.
Oh, that would be great.
Go help these women to go find their joy and their light and their spark.
Yeah, let's do that, because we need to. I mean, I really love doing what I do. I really love helping people to open and to empower them, and and make them feel strong, and that they can do it. They can control their life, and they can be. What I said at the end of my book, not the detox, not the fasting is going to be the magic pill. You have to take control of your life. You have to sit in like everybody says, you know, in the driver's seat, and know where you want your life to go. Because if you don't do, somebody's going to take you somewhere that you may not like it. You know? So be careful.
I love the way you said that. That was so cute. Yeah. Speaking of that, what's next for you? Like, what an incredible career. Like, you pretty much can't be more successful, but you're channeling a whole nother kind of thing. What can we expect from you?
Yeah, I quit my job on TV because I needed more time to do this, what I'm doing with you. I'm already, I left less than 6 months ago. So we're going to be doing a lot of seminars, and we're planning on, doing speaking engagements to do exactly what I'm doing with you, but to do it one-on-one, face-to-face, in public. We started already doing some conferences, and we're doing programs also where people can find themselves understanding that this is a holistic thing. This is not, I'm going to lose weight and you're going to have the body of, of your life, and that's about it. No, it's that the intention, the vision that you have for yourself. Who do you want to be? What can you do for yourself? And empower you to, with tools that I can offer you to accomplish those goals and those dreams, but always to be something that is like giving you the opportunity to be who you are, and to love who you are, and to accept who you are first, and not to try to be somebody else. And I think that's the most important thing. And that's what I'm working right now. I'm doing beautiful projects right now that I know they're going to start coming out, I think, in May. You know how this takes time to do.
Oh my gosh.
I would like to invite you,
because it's going to be February, and then I'm like, no, actually May, maybe next year.
No, it is.
And it's not that I have like perfect intentions, but sometimes I'm moving faster than the universe.
I
wants,
know, but it's
you know.
great, and this what you're doing is amazing. And I know a lot of people's lives is gonna change because of this New Year,
Well,
New You
I know
program.
people's lives have already changed because of you and what
Oh,
you already
thank you.
brought to the intermittent fasting. Just reading your book and me incorporating it, intermittent fasting is a forever thing for me. In fact,
Yes.
to me, it was the easiest change that I made. So I thank you, and I love you for that. And Cecilia, tell people where they can find you, because I'm sure they're going to want to follow you, and I'm sure people are going to want, you know, live sessions and to come to your seminars. How do we follow you?
Of
And now we
course.
can add everything to the links, you guys, but
Yes.
I just want to make sure that Cecilia gets it out there so we can follow her.
Yeah, you can find me in Facebook and in Instagram as Cecilia Ramirez Harris. And then you can find me in Twitter as Cecilia Ramirez H. That didn't fit the whole. And I have two groups on Facebook. One is Reto Detox, which is a detox challenge with Cecilia Ramirez Harris as a group that you can ask to be, get in. And also
I'm going to come into that because I want to do that as my kind of midpoint kickoff. So I'll come in there.
Oh, thank you. That would be amazing to have you there because
I'm
I
going
also
to put my Spanish to the challenge.
yes. And I also have another group that is right now we just started not long ago, which is Ayuno Intermitente, which is intermittent fasting. And the idea that we have is to start doing fasting challenges, like having people but prepare them first to start.
Oh, your son is on your page posting all the links. Good job, son.
Ah,
Good
you
son.
see, I love it. He's great. He's great. He's like my manager, my producer, he said that the orchestra man because he does my pictures, my videos, everything. But that's the way it is when you become
Oh, girl,
independent.
that's my family. When you were talking about your book, I was like, my son did the graphics. My daughter did all of the editing and legal TMs and all that kind of stuff. We're definitely a family business, and
Wow.
what a wonderful blessing that is to be excited about.
It is.
Well, Cecilia, I don't even know what to say. I just love to hang out with you. I wish you were here.
I'm coming. You tell me when I get in the place.
The pajama party.
I need to go visit you. But the thing is that, we can't wait for a moment that is okay because we're not, free to do that. We have to say this day, or either you come here after I finish my renovations.
We're going to put our intentions on it. And to anybody that did not have a question answered, I saw it go by. My question didn't get answered. Literally, we've had thousands of questions, but at the end of the feed, we do go back and answer them. So if anything wasn't answered, just give our team a chance to jump in.
Exactly.
And Cecilia, you're welcome, and your son to go interact with it. As soon as I end it, I'm going to go ahead and post it. So we'll make sure that everybody feels that they were a part of our live seminar tonight. So, well, I'll be in touch with you real soon. We'll see you in the intermittent fasting group. And to all the people who joined in tonight, thank you so much. We all love you. And we're just so blessed to be strong women and mentors for you all through your journey to health.
I love you all. And thank you so much for the opportunity to be here and to share with your followers. And this is amazing. This is really great. And I hope to do this again with you. And I'm going to invite you to do it in my page if you want.
Sí.
Let's try your Spanish.
Buenos noches. Gracias.